Hi friends, welcome to Best of Guru, and today we have another fabulous personality in our channel, and she is a blogger, social entrepreneur, urban farmer, organic farmer, and she is also Karmaveer Chakra Awardee winner, and also founder of Kalpavriksha Farms. She has been many in her kitty, like she also been author for Mom Presso and also for Women's Web. So many things, and she is also a sustainability coach. She is none other than Kalpana Manivannan ji, and we call in South India Kalpana Garu. Welcome, Kalpana ji.
Thank you so much, Guru. Thank you for having me on your channel, and such a glowing introduction you have given. It's not that great, but I'm just learning every day. Thank you so much.
I feel very happy because whenever I see your Facebook profile or Insta or whatever, all your images will be in green color. So that organic form makes me pleasant whenever I watch.
Yeah.
That is how I came to know about you. First of all, thanks for doing such a wonderful thing in
Thank
this.
you. I mean, it's my it was my dream, so yeah, I'm just living my dream basically.
So, can you please explain about yourself in a bit, in a short, with your own voice and words?
I think you have completely covered above and beyond what I
I
would have
have
explained.
given a glimpse, and you can elaborate that.
So I would say I'm a high school teacher turned organic farmer, and I have a small half-acre farm on the outskirts of Chennai where I grow all my vegetables. So my idea when I started was to be able to be completely self-sufficient. That was my only aim actually at that point, only goal, that somehow I would be able to, grow whatever that my family is consuming. That was the only small dream that I had, and I tried growing everything as much as possible. So we are slowly learning to. Grow more because I do not have a farming, background. I never did anything like that before, so it was completely new for me. So I had to learn a lot, and so now at this point, after a lot of learning, I've been able to achieve that. So we are living like a farm to table kind of a lifestyle where I'm able to preserve the excess produce, and from chili powder to coconut oil to all the vegetables, some fruits also, because fruit trees take a longer time to grow, so they are all growing. I have all the native varieties of fruits and vegetables. And another thing about my farm is I try to grow only native varieties. I do not bring in any hybrids. So I'm a strong proponent of no hybrid, no GMO. It's all supporter of native crops, because our indigenous crops are all getting lost, are getting extinct because we are not promoting it as much. So that is one thing I consciously do. And while I'm doing all this, then I actually had a lot of my friends and many of my Facebook page followers. They wanted to learn things like this from me. So I was with the organic farming, I also started looking at how I can live more in a chemical free manner, apart from the food that we take in. Because for me, this chemical free was a very important concept. For me, food security was the reason why I started organic farming. So, food security, when you talk about it, I want pesticide free, chemical free, preservative free food. So from there on, I started looking at other things, how I'm bringing home my any kind of chemicals. So that's where homemade natural cleaners came. So I did a lot of research, I learned a lot, and then I started making my own cleaners. So that also I was able to become self sufficient in that area, where I stopped buying chemical cleaners from the stores. Then slowly I started looking at soaps, how even our regular soaps that we use every day has so much of chemicals. If you read the label, you can't even make out half the ingredients in it. So that was another very disturbing point. Then I said, okay, how can I do that? So then I learned soap making, and I started making my own soaps. So that was that took its own journey, where a lot of friends started
I
ordering
think
from
yes.
me. And
Even me also.
yeah.
First of all, I have sent you friend request to buy those organic soaps.
Okay.
So I was inquiring about what is this soaps bulk,
Okay,
because
okay.
I always love organic soaps. I used a lot of aloe vera soaps and all in my
Okay.
teenage. So when I saw your post about those organic soaps and all, I thought this is good. How about this farm? It is around half acre as per
Half
my
acre.
knowledge.
Yes,
So
yes.
how would you manage all this planting?
Actually, we are weekend farmers. Okay, so that is the only thing we can't. We are not full time farmers because we are living in a city, and I actually wanted to. Also, the reason why I started my Facebook page or started putting things about my farm on the Instagram was with just one small motive that people shouldn't think that living in a city or you cannot do this. That was my only idea behind starting a page, was to actually show that you can be an urban farmer. So farming should not be divided into the only to the rural area. It's not like whenever we think about farming, we say, okay, farming that belongs to the rural area, that belongs to villages. That's all. That we are city folks are completely cut off from that area. So for me, it was to bridge the gap between the urban and the rural, because food is for everyone, whether you live in space or whether you are going to live on Mars.
Yes,
You're going to
without
eat food.
farmer, we cannot eat food.
Yes, so food is a very very universal thing. I mean, there should not be any divide between saying that rural and urban and things like that. So I wanted to show. I thought probably if people see that living in a city somebody can do this, so everyone will have a little bit of motivation to maybe they might get motivated to start a small garden. So that was the idea behind. I would say I wasn't putting my out things on social media. I was completely off social media for a very long time. I was, I would say a recluse. I was not comfortable on social media at all. So hardly, I would be there. From there, I have come to this point only because I saw there was a lot of positive impact or positive effect, positive messages I was able to convey. And I got a lot of wonderful feedback, and people writing to me through DMs or direct messages, or through my email. So that is how it was. So I actually saw that through social media I was able to put across things which people were able to message me back and get some feedback and all that. So that's the reason why I even started, and I think it's going pretty well as of now. And I think this, like you said, I think you were asking me about my farm as such. How we are managing. So because we are living in the city, I can only do weekend farming. So we go during the weekend. So maybe by Friday night or Saturday morning. Mostly that's how we start off. We go to the farm.
So
we
how
take
much
care of all the
distance it
things.
is from Chennai?
I'm already living on the outskirts of Chennai, so it makes it easier for me to quickly go. So it takes me about 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
To without any traffic or anything, within 1 hour I'll be able to go. So that way it's actually worked out well for us because it's not too far away. So every weekend it's very easy for us to commute and go there. And I have a couple of villagers, couple of ladies who are there for me to help with the watering part. So because plants are there, they need constant everyday watering. So it can't be just weekend farming. Doesn't mean you can't leave the plants without water. So that's when so for watering, I have a couple of ladies who live very close to my farm. So they are villagers, they live there. So they just come for half an hour a day and then just water my plants, take care of it. So I have them. Other than that, we are the ones who actually, me and my husband, we go on the weekends, or sometimes also in between the week when there is something that's happening, important work is happening, I actually go visit the farm and get it done. So that is how it's been working, maybe maximum 2 days a week or sometimes 3 days a week. That's how we've been able to manage.
So starting of any project, whether it is a technical project or even it is a farming, so there will be a lot of roadblocks initially. So what are the major roadblocks you have gone through?
Actually, when we decided to start and grow vegetables, the biggest challenge, because it's actually in a village. My farm is located inside a village, and I had no electricity actually on my farm. So that was the number one issue. And with with the electricity, it is like you have to really, there is this government office, and visiting them and getting the approval and getting the things done. That was the initial. It took the longest amount of time, I would say. Because we really had to go every week, visit the government office, electricity board, and try to get electricity from my farm. Because once, if at all, I'm going to use a bore well or something, for everything I might need electricity. So that was the first biggest roadblock. And once that was set, then I think it was all in our hands. So we were able to move very quickly. So we did some basic fencing around our farm, and we started our work there. So that was the only thing I would say. Apart from that, of course, the distance is not a problem. I would say it is not very close by, but still not bad. 1 hour is not at all a bad thing for living in a city. You actually even to go to a city, within a city, I think you will take that much amount of
Yes,
time.
due
So
to traffic.
so I don't think that really seems to be a problem. It worked very well for us.
So, what is the major difference between normal farming and this organic farming?
So it's completely different because we don't use any pesticide. We do not use any fertilizer, no chemical fertilizer, no urea, no such thing at all.
So, is it
Absolutely.
cost effective than normal one?
It can become costly. Right now, I'm not having a full scale. Like they say, whenever there's organic farming, they always talk about circular economy. Like if you have cows, cows on your farm. So what happens is the cow dung, the cow urine, all that becomes your manure, right? And whatever weeds are growing on the farm becomes food for the cattle. So generally that is how the farming was done earlier. If you see, they'll always have a few cows on the farm, and it will all work out. The waste from one will be used in the farm, and the farm waste is used for the cows. So it will be really a very cost effective method. That's how it was earlier. But I would say organic farming is definitely cost effective if we really look at things how to manage. You don't have to worry about buying any kind of fertilizer or any pesticide or anything like that. Even seeds for that matter, because we're not using hybrid seeds, it's native seed. We save our own seeds and we use it for the next season. So it's not like we need to go and buy seeds outside. So that is another thing. So it is to set up. I think it will take, for small scale, I think it might be a little bit of a challenge in the beginning, but I think once you get all the things in place, I think this can really work out fine. Yes, cost effective, absolutely.
What can be the budget around approximately if someone wants to start a farm like you within half acre?
There are what I would say is each farm might their idea might be different. What they want to do on the farm might be
Yeah,
different,
basically
right? So it is
what
not an
exactly
ideal.
they need? Yeah, basic setup.
What we did was we actually even have a small house there, because we understood very early on that if we are going to go and do farming whole day, if you have to be out on the in the sun and do the work, then we need some place to rest. So without a small house or something, some roof on over our heads, we won't be able to work. Rainy season, when it's really scorching hot, it won't work out. So we took all that into consideration. But just having a farm will, I think, because for us, I would say the cost which would majorly you will have to put in will be definitely a fencing, maybe, because there might be cattle around, they'll graze off your so you have to protect your area. So I think fencing would be the first thing that you will have to do. The second thing is, of course, the initial setting up of your land, because the land might be a barren piece of land. It may not have been, nobody would have been cultivating anything there, or even if it was being cultivated, probably there would be more fertilizer in the soil. The soil might be really dead, so you need to revive your soil so that it supports your organic farming, right? So for that, I actually took at least 3 to 6 months time to build my soil. So I actually started out by growing some urad dal on the piece of land, so that it acts like nitrogen fixer. So it's a natural nitrogen fixer. So without adding any NPK fertilizer and all that, it is naturally, the roots of these plants will fix nitrogen. So that is what I did. Then I plowed back all those plants back into the soil, so that becomes like a humus for the soil. Then we actually build raised beds. So you don't have to build raised beds, but that was the method we went by, because ours was a clay soil. So predominantly it's a very clay soil, and it wouldn't support a lot of plant growth. So we wanted to build the soil and have more humus, so which means that a lot of organic matter. So we put a lot of sugarcane husk, we put a lot of cow dung manure, and we layered it. That's how in raised beds, that's what they do. They layer this. So with a lot of organic matter, the soil becomes nice and loose and very healthy for the plants to grow in. So a lot of earthworms, it attracts a lot of earthworms. So your soil has to be really living soil for you to have organic farming happening. So first thing I always want to tell anybody who's going into farming is, please take care of the soil's health. You have to first look at it. It's not about just going, taking a few saplings, putting in the ground and it starts growing. It doesn't
Soil
work like
should be
that.
strong
And
enough.
yes, soil should be really good. And I am a very strong believer of soil. And if you do not take time to build your soil, I think it will quickly fail, and then you will get demotivated, and then you give up. So that I think that is the number one thing I am seeing a lot, is people just think you go sow some seeds and it starts growing. It doesn't. You need to have a good foundation for your plants to grow in. Once you build your soil, once you give your time and effort into building your soil, after that it is smooth sailing. After that, the plants will be resilient enough to resist pest problems. It will be able to resist diseases. So if the soil is strong, it's like immunity. If you have a good immunity, you can fight germs, than the person who doesn't have that much of an immunity. So
Just
it's
like
just like
human
that.
beings.
Yeah, so soil is what has to be really healthy for you to start. So before even thinking about planting something on your ground, I think first question you should ask yourself is your soil living soil? Does it have all the good nutrition which will support the plant growth? So give a lot of time, take 3 months, 6 months to build your soil, and then if you start, I'm telling you 100% there will be no failure. So please take time to build your soil is what I would say. So, and that's also naturally, all cow dung manure, and all natural, whatever the dried leaves and, sugarcane husk or whatever you can find, you have to mulch it with your, soil, so that the soil becomes really loose. And there are a lot of organic matter for the earthworms and other microorganisms to feed on. That's when your soil becomes living and soil becomes healthy. So that is something that we need to look at.
You remind me of my childhood days because I am a biology student. I am a BPC student in intermediate, and my father was a forest department. He was a forest officer. I used to plant some coriander, tomatoes, and all in the forest quarters which we had. So it always gives very happy, right? When we plant such things, we have greenery around us. So coming to schooling and all, you have a school, you are running a school, it seems, or you are
No.
making a farm
No, I'm
school
part
for
of.
schoolers.
No. I am actually. There is a school. There's an international school where I teach farming. That's all.
Mhm.
So
I
yeah.
saw in your Facebook
So
like farm schooling, something like that. You
no,
are
that's what
educating
I
students.
teach. I teach farming because that particular school has incorporated farming as their curriculum in their curriculum. So
Acha.
for fourth and fifth graders in their school, that school also has a small farm. So whole of last year, I was doing really going to the farm, and we all the children and me, we will meet every week there, and we will do all the farming and then literally get into the ground, sow seeds, all those things, harvest, and finally after 1 year of doing all the things, we finally harvested during Pongal season last January 2020. We actually harvested, and then we did the Pongal celebration there. We cooked the food that we grew ourselves. So children were very happy, because they were the ones who were toiling and growing and learning a lot on the farm. And finally, we finished with the Pongal celebration. But this year, when we wanted to continue with this Corona, there was a lot of challenge, because schools aren't open. So the school administration, they contacted me to see if we can do it online, if we can build something, some kind of so that they didn't want to give up the farming session just because the schools aren't open. So that is what is this new trial of seeing how this online farming through online can I take them through a few basics and what are the things they can do. We are actually talking more about sustainability and composting and having a small kitchen garden. That's what we are doing now through online, because once the schools open, then I think we will move on to the actual farm and start doing farming. I'm associated with the school as in the capacity of a facilitator for farming, as a farming class. That's how it is.
So we will start our day starting from brushing, soaping, everything. All are chemical things, and you are doing a fine job right from the start. That is when we bath with organic soaps and all. Can you please tell something more about that skincare thing you are doing in Kalpavriksha Farms?
Yeah, actually, I basically started to look at things that I needed for everything started with my home. Basically, I would say, it from there only it went out. Always it's about what are my family using and what are the things I can cut down. So number one, I thought, okay, first thing, I always take it very slow. I don't jump into a lot of things at a time because I want to learn completely what I'm doing and then move forward. So once I was very comfortable making soaps, and we literally, I think it's been 3 and a half years now since we have ever bought a soap outside. We haven't bought any soaps till date, even during this corona, I haven't bought any hand sanitizer at all till date. So soap is the only thing that I'm using, that to my handmade
So sanitizer also you
and
are preparing?
no, not really. I actually feel that I think soap is
I
more
think
than
you
enough.
should
I think that
start
is what
preparing. I will use your sanitizer.
so actually yeah, so we I started doing that, and then as and when some need arise, like little during the winter months and all, we felt that our hands are getting dry, skin is getting dry, so I started making body butter, which is again completely natural, zero preservative. So I started making body butter. Again, my soaps are also something, because I wanted to go one step further, to not buying oil, but using my own coconut oil from my farm. So it is literally, so I have 100% control over even the oil, that the oil is not adulterated, it's completely organically grown. I actually harvest it, I take it to the mill, I get it ground, and I bring the oil home. So there is absolutely, I have full satisfaction with my oil, right? So that is my USP for my, skincare, that I use my farm's coconut oil. So that is what,
We
that is one thing.
we get
Yeah.
only 24 hours na, for every human being. How would you manage all these things in that?
No, no, that's actually, sometimes I do get an idea. Some of them, actually, some of my friends even ask me, but I think because I have, like, it's all of the things are not done on one particular day, right? Weekends for farming, and then of course for a couple of days farming, harvesting, and again preserving all of them. It takes a lot of time, so that happens at one time. Then I have my farm school happening on a different day. Soaps, according to the demand, I allocate a certain days to make soaps, and let it for curing. So everything happens in a different on a different day. Not every day everything doesn't happen, right? So I think that is somewhere I have made sure that okay, I do a particular thing on a particular day, so that way I'm able to manage. Yes, and it keeps me, because all the things that I'm doing are something that I love doing, so it doesn't
I
feel
think
like
that's why you
work.
are so active. So it all combined together and it is making you too happy. And see, when you are
I think
around
when you are
green,
in a,
yes,
yeah, when you are doing every single thing that I started doing was something that I wanted to do, and I was doing for with
I think
full
you are doing
satisfaction. So that is
soulfully.
what
That's why you are getting so much of satisfaction.
I know that's why it doesn't look like work. Though I'm telling you, all this is a lot of hard work. On farm,
Hmm.
those 2 days are
Yes, yes,
completely,
it
we're
takes.
exhausted.
But you
We're
should be
exhausted, and one
very
day,
passionate about it.
yeah, you have to be passionate, definitely, I'm telling you, because it's not a small hobby that you can do a couple of days and leave it and nothing will happen. Like, if you start painting, you don't paint for 2-3 days, nothing will happen. You can get back to it later whenever you feel like it, but once you grow plants, you can't leave them like that, right? So it definitely requires a lot of passion. You definitely need to have that, you should be drawn towards that, to do these things. So then you will not worry about the sun or the heat or all those things. Then you're happy at the end of it. Even after all that exhaustion, it still doesn't feel, physical exhaustion is there, but mentally you're very happy. So that is
Exactly.
what I would say.
Mhm.
So yeah, so since my skincare is just expanding, I was expanding. Then at some point, I just stopped. I just have a very minimal everyday things. I don't go into cosmetics as such. I just do what is bare minimum required in a family. So soap is something that I definitely will
Which
need.
are
Second was
essentials.
yeah, so body butters, because that was okay for me, because it was completely natural, again oils and butters only. So that was something that I was able to use for my kids also. That I made that, and that was also something that everyone liked, and they wanted to have more of that. So that I just make all these are not a very commercial venture. It is for, I have a loyal customer following, so I just cater to them. So that's more than enough for me. And then I keep experimenting. See, when my kids or somebody asks me about the deodorant is a very scary thing. Again, it has lot of chemicals that are really toxic. So things like that I keep experimenting, but as of now I just do very basic things like soaps, body butters. That's what I keep it to.
So coming to your writings, you are a good writer too. You already wrote for some of the famous women blogs like Mom Press or Women's Web. So you also got some awards, if I am not wrong.
Yeah, blogging
So
happens, and
writings,
a couple of awards, yeah, happened, and that is again
some
something
novels.
very.
You write novels also?
No, 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 no. not novels. It is just I was in a process of writing a book, so it's still not happened yet, because again a lot of things happen, and you need to have a very dedicated mind space to complete a book and all
So I
that.
think
So it will take.
coming to that book thing, you have given me one more question. You are starting a e-book, it seems. You are writing a
Yeah, I
e-book.
have. Not ebook, an e-course is already out.
Acha,
It's
acha.
it's already out. This is another one of my very
Scratch from
passionate,
something.
cook from scratch.
Yeah,
Being
cook from
that was
scratch.
that was something, because I have been doing that, and I've been sharing a lot of recipes on my blog, and free resources on my blog how to make, and many people have tried it and all that. I wanted it to reach a larger audience, and I wanted it to make sure that I also give step-by-step instructions and video tutorials and all that, so that it helps even beginners to um, start making these things. So many a time what happened was, there's a lot of cooking recipes and blogs and YouTube videos. There is abundant of resources out there. So there is nothing that my e-course is going to add anything new. But my approach was completely different with this e-course. It was not about just giving a bunch of recipes, like maybe some tiffin ideas, or some Italian cooking or something like that. I actually just picked the first 10 things that I personally removed from my buying option. The grocery store list of items that we usually buy processed food, right? Some of the processed food which are very commonly we buy without even thinking twice, we just put it on our list. Those were the 10 things I wanted to first put it out on this in this e-course, so that people can stop buying processed food and start instead making them at home. The reason why we all buy those food items is, first of all, we think we don't have the expertise to do it ourselves. Number one, we think it is too complicated. And second of all, those were not the things we grew up learning as an Indian household. For example, bread, or burger buns, or if you say ketchup. So these are the things we actually, these are like your mom,
I think
grandmom never
you
made this
did
at home,
start
right?
some trainings also on this project only.
No, my workshops are happening for, of course, gardening and chemical
Okay.
free, living. I mean, the natural
Because I
cleaners
saw
workshop.
some of your Facebook post saying that this bread and bun, some.
Yeah, that was, I think that is part of my 30-day mentorship program.
Acha,
Yeah. So
acha,
this was
okay.
all included. It was
Yeah,
included in
I
my
am getting
30-day
confused
mentorship.
of these two. There are so
Okay,
many
okay.
programs going out there simultaneously.
So this 5-day workshops are happening
Mhm.
every month, but this 30-day mentorship program I actually started, in which I incorporated everything. It has all these things together, all the things. As an urban, a city dweller, whatever they can get so that they can get started on their sustainable living. It could be cooking, it could be gardening, it could be chemical free living, all put together. So I had designed a course where it will be a 30-day program, and I'll be mentoring them on all those 30 days to achieve their sustainability goals. So that was the program in which I think I had probably shared. I don't even remember whether I shared it. I don't know,
Mhm.
but I
I
believe
am keenly following you for the last 1 month or
so.
so.
That is one thing. And so my e-course is basically not just another cookbook or a cooking course or something like that. I basically wanted, like I told you earlier, my idea was chemical free, and my idea was food security. So that was the number one thing why I do whatever I do. Everything that I do will finally come to that. Whether it is soap making to gardening, or chemical free cleaners, or cooking from scratch. All this, if you see, the connecting factor is clean food and clean living, basically, right? So cooking from scratch is something which can actually eliminate a lot of preservatives that we buy. So if you buy bread, a simple thing that all of us buy every single week, we buy 2 3 packets of loaves of bread. Definitely that has become a very staple food for all of us. But if you see the ingredients on the packet, you would wonder what are these things and why they have added it. We have no idea, because it's all
Hmm.
industrially processed. It's processed in bulk. And if you see what it takes to bake a bread, it will have 4 5 very simple ingredients: flour, sugar, water, some things like that, very simple, which you can identify, and which they are real food, right? So but the things that you buy from the store, if you see, you will see so many things you can't even identify, you can't even pronounce them, actually. There are
Exactly.
such long chemical names. So that those are the things I want people to get off of. They can start making these at home once they start. And if you take jam, for that matter, ketchup, all these have loaded sugar and loaded preservative. That rather than the goodness that we are supposed to get out of it, we actually end up getting more of harmful thing, which over a period of time in our lifestyle, consuming them leads us to a lot of health lifestyle diseases that we are ending up very early in our life. Before even we turn 40, we are already diabetic, we are already having hypertension. So all this processed food is really causing a lot of harm. So I thought, okay, if I can just put together those top 10 things that I could eliminate, and it's very simple recipes, very, very basic recipes, so that it is not complicated at all for a beginner. And it will not overwhelm them, and it will help them to continuously make them. It's not like one day they make bread and they said, okay, fine, I've made a bread, forget about it. It should not be like that. It should be something that they continuously make it, and they actually reach a point where they stop buying bread altogether from the store. That was my
Yeah,
aim behind
last
the
1 month
e-course.
I am eating bread and peanut butter
Right.
because doctor told me that don't eat all these masala dosas. We eat so many dosas
Okay.
now. We are fond of dosa, idlis, sambars and all.
Yeah.
So I am avoiding all those things. So coming
Basically,
back to your
making yourself. Mm.
organic farming, we are in a pandemic situation where people are thinking ways to have some what you call hobbies and all. So some people are taking this as a hobby, like gardening and all. Recently, I saw a post on one of the newspapers that celebrities also taking this as their hobbies. And
Mm-hmm.
when coming to bioenzymes, I don't know what bioenzymes is. One of my favorite actress, Samantha Rutu Prabhu, she has been featured in some of the local newspapers. There I saw Kalpana Manivannan also.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. You
Beside
said.
Samantha, what is that actually?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was interviewed for being a sustainability coach, and how I what are the workshops I'm conducting towards that. And when that happened, they was talking about people are everywhere we hear people making these bioenzymes, which are natural cleaners. Basically, bioenzymes are using your citrus fruit waste, which is the peels of the after you finish eating an orange, the peels of the orange, the peels of mosambi, peels of
Hmm.
lemon after you use it. Basically, it's just going to go waste. Using those, we make bioenzymes. Okay, there's a small process, very simple steps. So you make a bioenzyme, and those are the enzymes that can be used. It's a multi-purpose cleaner. It's a floor cleaner, bathroom cleaner, tile cleaner. You can use it any way, with a lot of variations, of course, slight variations, and then you can use them all. So that is something that everyone we are encouraging, and most of us who are into natural living and chemical free living are all moving towards that, because in the name of chemicals, whether it is Lysol, Harpic, or so many different things that we bring home, there's so much of chemicals in that it actually we think that it is clearing all the germs, but the fumes that it leaves behind, we are inhaling them, and our own health, they say, there is a saying, there is studies that have told that these chemicals the fumes that we are inhaling is actually affecting our gut bacteria. So when it affects our gut bacteria, the good bacteria in our body are all getting killed, and because of that, our gut health is completely ruined, and that is something which is associated with immunity a lot. So your immunity is affected when you use these chemical loaded things at home. So when you clean your home with chemical cleaners, all these fumes that are circulating inside our home, we are only inhaling it, finally, and then that is actually causing a lot of problems in our body. It's over a period of time, it's causing a lot of health issues. So that is something, that's why people are actually moving towards these natural cleaners, and bioenzyme is becoming quite popular. I started teaching them last year, year before that. I started making them 3-4 years back. And now I actually, because the reason the interview was done was to find out if, are you going to just make it once, and, is it going to be so difficult that people give up on it? How is that your workshop helps in that? So basically, that is how I was telling them that once you start making them, and once you learn how to sustainably make it, it is not at all work. It will become second nature. Once you start, you won't stop. If you know the science behind the bioenzyme, if you start without complete understanding of bioenzyme, you might give up, saying that, what, this is not for me. I don't know whether I'm doing the right way or wrong way and all that. So a little bit of hand holding and a little bit of good guidance in that area really helps people to take it forward and continue with it, not stop it after the first batch, to continue with it. So I have a lot of participants who keep telling that they have completely stopped buying these store bought cleaners. So that is the most happiest thing that I can hear on a day. It makes my day anytime any old participant, they all post pictures of how they are cleaning something and how it is shining without even chemicals. They're able to do this, do that. So that makes my day. So that is exactly what I want to more people to start using these options for their own health and for the environment also. Because that is again a big question mark. We have seen with corona, with everything else this year, how bad
This year
we
is
are in the
like a
situation.
nightmare. I don't think again this type of year will come, because we don't want this type of things happening in future. By God's grace, next 5 months everything will be fine. That is what we wish. Coming to your website, so there are so many things on your website, like so many informative articles and all. So how you are maintaining this website? Are you having any team?
No, one man army.
Oh my
So
God.
no, I mean, actually, my husband helps me with the technical aspects, because I'm a tech. Let me
Non-techie.
say I'm a non-techie, or very technologically challenged person.
Technology is a
Uh,
challenge.
yeah. So for me, it's like it doesn't give
Even
me
me
any joy
also, I am
anymore.
a MBA graduate in marketing. I like to have marketing or making good friends or team building. That is my strength. I never been into technology, but since I started blogging now, every time I fell down, I do that thing and that thing. Sometimes I crashed my websites also so many times. I keep
Okay,
on
okay.
learning. And one good
Yeah.
thing is about your website is it is also green. So it is
Okay.
happened. It is happened accidentally, or you have chosen it green.
Accidentally, I think only when you're telling me, I'm even realizing that yeah, because I think there's a backdrop of my farm where I'm standing in front of my farm. I think that is the thing. But no, I do not have any um, the picture or the concept of how it wants to be. It actually kind of evolved, because I was blogging since 2015 actually, and I was on a blogger platform. Then I moved to WordPress, and slowly, so it's a transition. So if suddenly today somebody sees and thinks, oh, this looks good, it wasn't like that to
Yes,
begin with, right?
whenever
So when
I
you say
see,
we have,
yeah, whenever I visit any website or blog, first thing I see is how cool that one looks like and how clutter free it is. When we have user interface, very amazing. So we
yeah,
will spend more time on that website. That is how
yes,
I tell to the new bloggers also. Don't go all fancy things and all so many colors, so many. Go for
mm,
one or two colors in combination. So
yeah,
your blog looks very professional actually, not cute.
yeah.
It is more professional.
Yeah.
By the way, it is also cute also.
So
So
actually, that's what
congrats.
like you say, it evolved. I would say it evolved over a period of so many years. So 2015, it was completely different, and I was actually only doing parenting, blogging, and all that. Maybe it was the focus wasn't on farming or gardening as much. So actually, as we evolved, as I evolved, I think my blog also evolved, and I think my husband now, he took up this technical part, so he's actually able to do that for me. Otherwise, I can give ideas. I'm very creative that way, but to execute it, I think you need some technical support and all that. So that way I'm able to have his help. So this website, I would say, the current face of the website would be all credit to my husband.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So last but not the least, what is that Karmaveer Award?
Karmaveer Award. Yeah, actually, the first time, one of they contacted me from the Rex Karmaveer Award. I was really very surprised, because I didn't know how they even contacted me, where they saw my profile, or I have no idea. I just got a mail saying that you've been nominated for this, and we would like you to have to be part of this and all that. So I was really thinking, is this some spam or something like that? I really wrote about that also. But I think that is a wonderful platform where what I learned by being there in their conclave for 3 days. There was a conclave in Delhi. I visited when I went to collect my award. So I saw some wonderful work that's been happening in that space, where what they do is they actually see, they actually pick grassroots level, people who are working at, very, they're not very famous, or they're not doing, like thousands and millions of people are doing, they're helping and all that. They're all doing small things in their own areas. And mainly their focus is on saying that if you are looking at doing some, you want to bring some change in the society, or you are thinking of doing something, you are also actually following that path. So you are actually living the change that you want to see. So they are actually handpicking people like that from different areas of life. So it's not just farming. So it was from all different backgrounds. People were there, and how they have been helping, and in what capacity they have been of some use to the society, and what kind of change they are envisioning for the society, and how they are bringing that change in their own lifestyle, plus how that is impacting the society. So that was what it was their the idea behind this Rex Karmaveer Award. So that a lot of things I learned, once I, when they can convince me that yes, I am worthy of this and I should be getting on board, because I kept thinking that, I don't think, it looks like a very huge honor, and I haven't done anything great to receive that. But when I
But
saw,
you think
what are the
like
things
that, but
around.
for me, I think you deserve that. You deserve more than that also. See, doing
Thank you
things
so
are
much.
very common nowadays, like inventing some electronics or something. But when coming to soil, which is our backbone of India, so very less people are interested into farming or giving respect to that what you call earth bhumata we call in Telugu. So that is a fine thing, and one more thing I want to tell to the audience through this video. I am a big fan of you, madam, for the I think 3 years back only. Why? Because
Thank
I
you
saw
so much,
one of
because
because I
because
saw
I
one
would
of your article. I am a big fan of watching interviews and also reading interviews. I am a very bad reader. I don't like reading articles or books also. I even learned blogging also through videos only. But first time I saw your photo, your husband and your child grabbing that sugar canes or something like that in that newspaper. You might be forgotten maybe in
yeah, I don't remember that picture.
Deccan Chronicle or something in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Some of the
Oh,
Hyderabadi interviewed you. That
okay.
article I saw Kalpana from Kalpana. Wow, who is this woman Bolke? I researched about you. Since then I
Okay,
was
okay.
searching you, and I was really so excited when you accepted my Facebook friend. I didn't told you that time because I want to keep this secret bulk. I thought to feature you on my blog, but my blog is different. It is a tech blog and all.
Okay.
So I thought it is irrelevant for me. But by God's grace, I have started this motivational series in my YouTube. So today I felt very happy. This I have to tell you on the last minute because. Since 2 times, I think we missed last time also. We had a
Yeah,
schedule, but
yeah.
cancelled and all. So now it is everything. I feel very excited. Thanks for coming
Thank you.
to Best of Guru, and I am so happy that I am featuring one of my celebrity.
Oh God. I'm actually so
uh,
grateful for all the
so,
love
so
and
people
support that
think
I
that
get.
only lifestyle or heroines or actors or cinema people are celebrities. For me, everybody who is giving their hand to help nation are also celebrities, including
Thank
freedom
you.
fighters and all. So thank you so much.
So
And is there
honored.
anything? Finally, you want to say anything because I might be missing some questions due to too much of excitement.
No, no, no. I'm very, very honored, and to hear that, you have followed me for, from the point when you saw the newspaper article. It's nice to know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I will
Sometimes
send you that article if I find it because 3 years, I
uh,
think 3 years or 4 years, I don't know exactly.
okay, okay, all right.
You have been
Thank you so
featured in
much.
some of the newspapers.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and it is an honor to be, actually being interviewed by someone who admires your work. That is what is more important than anything else. So I'm very happy that I was able to, we finally able to make this come true, this interview. So thank you so much, Guru, for having me, and
Thank,
continue your good work. Thank you
thank you,
so much.
thank you, madam. Have a nice day, and
Thank you.
finally, stay home, stay safe.
Thank you. Yes, you too, please. All of us should do that.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
something that
Thank
we have
you.
to do. Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much.
Bye.
Bye.